This is Snake. Can you hear me? Good. The mission is simple. Put your geek pants on and infiltrate Foxhound. If you need backup, contact Ken and Chris on their codec frequency. Ready? Snake out.
Another day, another Camcast. Another Geek Pants Camcast.
The Geek Pants Camcast with the one and only Chris Mercier and his hairy sidekick, Ken Livitski.
Are you a sidekick? Or I always assume we're just partners.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, we're partners.
Right.
Like Bucky and Cap are partners.
Yeah, exactly.
But Bucky's also the sidekick.
No.
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 They're partners?
Partners.
They're on equal grounds.
Equal grounds. Especially in the Brewbreaker run.
Okay. All right. Go on Brewbaker run.
Because you had Captain America up front going, hey, everybody, look at me. And then you had Bucky in the background going, yeah, look at Cap while I gut you guys.
Did I not bring my coffee up here?
No, you did not.
Son of a bitch, man. My brain is mush.
That's fine. Just, lovingly
you know what I'm
beckoning
going to
your
do?
wife.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to guzzle it during our next episode with a nice drinkable temperature.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
I will power through it at the normal temperature. Oh yeah, we already did the introductions, eh?
We did.
Yeah.
We did. Geek Pants Camcast.
I didn't even look at the camera at all.
No, you ignored them
I was
completely.
like, yep, the one and only Chris Mercier.
Yes.
No one else is here
Yep.
but us.
And we're going to be talking Venom.
But more importantly, just to hammer out my point, also, retroactively, Robin was considered a partner, less a sidekick.
Okay.
In the original, like in the 50s and 40s when they were out, yes, very much sidekicks, and they're always
So
referred
much
to as
sidekick.
sidekicks. But now they're called partners.
They don't really have sidekicks anymore, do they?
No.
No.
Because...
Is sidekick an offensive word now?
It's not so much that it's an offensive word. I think it's because the...
I want to ask the millennials.
Now, instead of
sidekick.
doing sidekicks, they just do younger heroes.
Yeah, that's
Because the
true.
purpose of the sidekick was so that the kids would have someone to identify with.
Right.
Because, I mean, even when we were kids, we did think that it was super cool that Robin got to hang out with Batman, right?
Yeah.
Because even on some level, you're like, well, I'm not Batman, but I'm like Robin. Then it's...
Plus, you got to wear green underwear in public.
Well, that's... I mean, I don't know if that's a positive.
The green booties.
But like Grant Morrison said, that's pure confidence.
It is.
Yeah. But even like...
Plus, he shaved his legs.
You know what? He was probably prepubescent.
Okay.
I think that's a word. So... But then, of course, there was Speedy for Green Arrow. Then you had Kid Flash for Flash instead of Speedy for Flash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So all these, like, kids for them to identify with.
Wonder Woman never had a partner, did
Yeah, she did. Wonder Girl.
Wonder Girl.
And Aquaman had Aqua Boy. Or
Aqua
Aqua Lad,
Lad.
sorry.
Aqua Lad.
That's right. Aqua Boy, not as cool.
Not as cool. Aqua Lad.
Much cooler.
Much cooler, because who uses lad in their name?
Yeah.
That's
And
awesome.
it doesn't sound as like it doesn't sound like he's a 14 or a 4-year-old kid.
Yeah.
It sounds like, oh, he's almost a man.
Aqua Boy.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course there was an Aqua Girl at one point too.
Oh, well,
Right.
of course.
And Batgirl.
Yeah.
But she was less.
Batgirl, Batwoman.
Not so much a sidekick.
Never been a Batboy.
Actually, Batwoman and Batgirl. That was.
Yeah.
That was also.
But was there ever a Batboy?
No.
There's never been a Batboy.
There has never been a Batboy.
See? If
There's
I was
been
writing
a
Batman today.
Jr.
If I was writing Batman today, I would introduce Batboy.
Why?
Just because. I feel like it would take off. I mean, if the penis episode or issue could be worth $75 now, then the introduction of
Isn't that
Batboy.
fucking crazy though? Like just the
Yeah.
concept behind it. Like they sat there and said, "Hey, we need to justify an adult imprint. Let's have a penis.
Yeah.
Let's show Bruce Wayne's penis."
I think it was more or less, nobody's talking about this. How can we get people to talk about it? Let's sneak a penis in there, pretend that we didn't mean to, and then stop bringing
no. They
immediately after
didn't
that.
pretend like they didn't mean to. They meant it. It was just the
Yeah.
backlash was so immediate because everyone was like, "What the fuck? Why? What was the point?" And then they're like, "Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
We'll never show it again." This is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
You know? Like,
I was like, I read that, I was like, oh, I should run to the comic store, maybe grab an issue. And I was like, I'm not even doing
I went, I saw the picture and I remember just being like,
it. I saw the picture too.
like,
I
really?
was like, I always expected Batman to be bigger.
See, that wasn't the thing. For me, it was more or less just like, was it necessary? Like, what's next? We're going to do the, like, pussy outline for,
Or maybe
Wonder
he
Woman?
was big, because they kind of had it completely shaded, and then the penis was erecting from the shadows.
erecting from the shadows.
It's got to be rather large if it's coming up in the shadow.
Yeah, maybe we saw it like in mid-erection.
Yeah.
So that this is not his proudest point.
I hope he's got Catwoman on the mind.
Yeah. But like I said, so I guess pussy or vagina outline for Wonder Woman.
Yes.
That's about right.
That's pretty good, yeah.
But like, I don't know, I just remember being like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, an adult imprint with Batman and Superman and stuff like that is actually, like, interesting.
It's interesting.
To see what they can do, but, I mean, if that's the case, like, if this... Well, first of all, the story itself apparently wasn't even that good.
It didn't sound good. There was nothing about... Like, I read about what it was about. Didn't appeal to me at all.
I know, I did the same thing. I was like, oh, okay, so the only thing really noteworthy about it was the fact that at one point you could see his penis.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
The art, too.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good artist.
He's a good artist, but, like, the actual, the story didn't sound entertaining at all. Apparently, what's the next one? The Superman by Frank Morrison? That's another one that I'm not gonna... I don't know if I'll check
The Wonder
that
Woman one sounds interesting. Kelly Sue DeConnick's writing it.
Okay.
That
Bitch
sounds...
Planet, right?
Yeah, the Bitch Planet.
Yeah, okay. That...
Yeah.
But again, like, it'll depend now on... I guess it'll come down to, like, how adult are they going? Because, again, we're talking about, like, you know, fictional characters, but, like, if they go too adult, like, say, Mark Millar, or Miller, you know, well, then you're dirtying out these heroes when you don't need to. Or you're putting them in a position where, like, say, like, now Superman is going to be writing child trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
Or human trafficking, you know?
See, I would like...
Because, like, hold on, before the reason why I use that as an example is because, like, so that's, like, a real-world topic. That's an epidemic, human trafficking. But you can't have a fictional character solve that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's a slap in the face to the real-life occurrences that happen. Because, I mean, the one wrong person reads that book and goes, oh, yeah, Superman stopped human trafficking? Fuck you. You know, my sister is still in it, or whatever the case may be. You know, so it is a fine line, you know? Yeah. I mean, if it's just an excuse to show Lois Lane riding Superman in the sky, then maybe don't do it.
I feel like a mature rated comic book based around someone like Jimmy Olsen would be better than based off Batman and Superman. Like side characters.
Actually,
like, if you really go the Max route, like, think about when Bendis kicked off Alias with Jessica Jones.
Which I never read.
It was amazing. Because she was solving crimes that were based around superheroes. So you were seeing the dark side of what was left over from superheroes.
See, and that actually, I have to agree, like, the Jimmy Olsen premise actually works because, first of all, I mean, Jimmy Olsen's just Superman's best friend. Yeah. You know, or Superman's sidekick, if you want to reference what we were talking about earlier. So then to put him in a position where now he's seeing maybe a seedier underbelly that we don't see, or that Superman sees it, but there's only so much he can do, right? Mm-hmm. That would be a little bit more interesting. Yeah.
Or how about, I don't know, a serial killer, Zaz. He's got his own book, and it's about a cop going after Zaz. Zaz has left Gotham, he's in a new city. Yeah, that actually, that kind of mentality works better. Yeah. Instead of just saying, yeah, we'll have Superman swear. Yeah. Or we'll have, or like I said, like Lois Lane and Superman engaged in sex in the sky type of thing. Where you're just like, it just seems like a waste of the imprint to me. Yeah. And, like, they got Bendis and they have Straczynski under their roof right now. Those guys kicked off the Max line. Exactly. Like, can you imagine Straczynski doing something like Supreme Power over at DC? Yeah. It'd be so good. That'd be absolutely crazy. So Gary Frank's there, too. I know. Like, I know. That guy's on my list. Hey! I actually crossed out George Perez because I was trying to think there was another one on there. And then I'm like, oh, yeah. But anyway, so before we get any further, we'll see what the Black Label looks like. Mm-hmm. We'll wait it out. So far, my impressions, not so good. We'll see. I mean, who knows? Maybe Frank Morrison, or Frank Miller, sorry. I said Frank Morrison before. You said Frank Morrison, yeah. Yeah. I was like, maybe he means Grant. But you meant Miller. But I meant Miller. Frank Miller is doing a Superman run. Frank Morrison is kind of like a rock star name. It is, actually. Frank Morrison. Freddie Mercury. Oh. That's a good one. So, but I just, that one's going to be a hard one for me to take because his take on Superman is probably my least favorite take on Superman. Yeah. His Superman is like a total government. I'm going to avoid it completely. Because I've read recent Frank Miller.
Oh, I don't
recent
remember
Frank
the last
Miller
time,
is not 80s Frank Miller.
I don't remember the last time I read Frank Miller. I went, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
What was the last one? The Heretic or whatever the fuck it was called? The Infidel?
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be Batman versus the Taliban. And then DC was like, oh, okay, alright, you can't do that. So then he was like, okay, I won't. And took the ears off, and then everything else is exactly the same. That was garbage. That was a hot pile of garbage. And that's exactly what I was getting at. We're like, now you have Batman fighting the Taliban.
Yep. So
Batman beats the Taliban, but in real life, the Taliban's still there. Mm-hmm. You know, it was kind of like in the World War II comics, where they had to be very careful that they didn't have, you know, Captain America or Batman or Superman, like, end the war, because the troops fighting would be like, fuck you, we're still here.
Right.
So that's an example. That's a recent example of something where you're like, you gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Like, I remember, what the hell is it? There was a Superman, I can't remember who wrote it, but it might have been Mark Waid. Mark Waid, and it was drawn by, or painted by Alex Ross. And it was Superman confronting world hunger.
Okay.
And it actually ends with him kind of saying, like, I could end world hunger, but that does nothing for them. Like, they need to be able to do it on their own type of thing. And I was like, yeah, that makes way more sense. Or it's kind of like Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, where he gets rid of all the nuclear weapons, and then he goes, hey, that was wrong. I made a choice for you, and you should have made that choice. So when you're ready to make that choice, I'll back you 100%, right? Mm-hmm. That makes more sense as opposed to just going, everything's better.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so Frank Miller's version of Superman, we'll see how it works. I feel it's just going to be him telling the origin of his version of Superman, and I'm going to hate it.
Yeah,
I'm going to be like, fuck this shit. This is bullshit. Why would you let the guy that hates Superman write Superman? Ugh.
So, Chris?
Yes, Ken?
Instaquestion!
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 Instaquestion! Boo, 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 boo!
Never gets old. Today's question comes in from, once again, James Livitski.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean,
any relation to Kenneth Livitski?
I think he's a long-lost relative.
No, he's your fucking brother.
He's my brother.
Why would you? I gave you an open opportunity to be like, that's my brother.
He's my brother. I love him. Check him out on Instagram, The Gentleman Bronco. Awesome artwork.
Which is still great because of that fucking movie.
I know.
It's not a good movie.
No.
But that title is awesome.
Yeah.
The Gentleman Bronco.
The Gentleman Bronco.
But yes, also, he's not my brother, but he's close enough.
Mm-hmm.
James Livitski!
James Livitski is asking, who are your top 5 favorite comic book artists?
You want to go first?
I'll give you a heads up on that, so I wouldn't throw you out, so give you some time.
Yeah, no, it actually was fairly easy. The only one that I snagged on was, and I'll go through this. So, right away, Eric Larson.
Okay, yep.
He's been one of my favorite artists since as long as I can remember. I remember the first time I saw him, he was doing Spider-Man. And it was Amazing Spider-Man 349.
Ah.
No, that's not true. It was earlier than that. It was an episode, not an episode. I can't remember. He's fighting Venom on an island. It's the second part of a 2-part storyline. Venom.
I remember that cover.
Yeah, it's the one where he's got the skull.
Yeah.
And there's like remnants of Spider-Man's mask on.
Yeah.
That was the first Eric Larson book I ever read, and I loved his art. And then, of course, followed his art after that. So then saw 349, 350, and then he moved over to Spider-Man.
Yep.
Just regular Spider-Man right after Todd McFarlane.
Yep.
And then read that whole run.
That run was awesome.
Oh.
His art was so good. His Sinister 6 issue.
Oh my god.
That was a great
You had
issue.
like the Cyber Spider with the Cyber Cast. Friggin' total like 90s.
It was a Terminator.
Total 90s thing, but yeah, like and a precursor to the Super Patriot, which was later Savage Dragon. And of course, that's why I started reading Savage Dragon, was because Eric Larson. So he's top of the list for me.
Nice.
Next, Frank Quitely.
Right.
Ever since New X-Men, always been a fan of his work, and like I said in our previous Camcast, we were talking about favorite runs and stuff. At first glance, I would probably have never have said, yeah, that's like one of my favorite artists.
It was a very unique style to get used to at first.
But within the second or third page, I remember just being like, this is crazy cool. Like, it's different, but it's, like, he's got a different view on how drawing things, but his expressions are great. The people look different.
Yep.
There's none of this, like, homogenization. His action sequences look amazing, you know? So, yeah, Frank Quitely. And plus, he draws one of my favorite Superman.
He's just got this really, I don't want to say futuristic, but it's mature. He's got a mature style.
It's almost like an Art Deco style, kind of like the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
Kind of like that, but a little bit more detailed.
X-Men 113 was like your usual superhero.
Standard
X-Men
superhero
and then when New X-Men 114 came out, like, that artwork was on another level.
Yeah.
I had never seen artwork like that.
You know?
Because that came out at the same time as X-Force. Yeah, X-Force. And I thought the same thing about Mike Allred. Like,
you mean X-Statix?
What was X-Force?
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was X-Force, and then it was X-Statix.
But Mike Allred, again, like, that was art like I've never seen before.
His art, though, Mike Allred, I've never read enough of his work to actually put him on the list, but I've always been drawn to it.
Yeah.
Because he's got that, like, pop culture Art Deco style
it's
as
so
well,
neat.
where you're
it's
just
so,
like,
so unique and different.
Like, I reread the Mark Waid Daredevil run recently, because Daredevil Season 3 is fucking amazing!
So good!
Better be watching that on Netflix, because it looks like we might not get a Season 4 if that's the case.
Oh, fuck. If they cancel, I'm gonna just fucking...
Especially the way they end it. Have you watched it all the way through yet?
All the way yet.
Oh, man.
I watched all the way.
They killed Daredevil! They actually don't kill Daredevil. Anyway. Yeah, so I reread his run, and at one point, Allred does, like, a guest spot on it. And it's funny because Chris Samney, Allred, these guys all hold up really well. And it was, who was it?
Darwin Cook was another one that really...
Yeah, Darwin Cook. That whole...
Rest in peace.
Yeah. Anyway, so Frank Quitely.
Awesome.
Then, next on the list, Gary Frank.
Mm.
Gary Frank, he's one of my all-time favorites. And he just came out of nowhere. It was Supreme Power. That was the first time I've ever seen him do anything.
Yeah, I mean, he worked with Straczynski on, I think it was Midnight Nation. I looked up...
That's the one we were talking about, because I said Rising Stars.
It wasn't Rising Stars, it was Midnight Nation.
But it wasn't, because I looked back later, but yeah, Midnight Nation, that's right.
And his work is insane.
Incredibly detailed, suits superheroes so well, but can also do, like, adult books and stuff like that. But I remember just, like, I feel like if Gary Frank wasn't drawing Supreme Power, I don't think I would have been as sucked in as quickly as I was.
I wouldn't.
I remember the filler issues, and it was just like, oh.
Yeah.
And it's still good.
Yeah.
But it's not as good. I mean, he's so good. His Superman is also one of my favorites, even though he's one of the ones that draws Christopher Reeves as Superman.
Yeah.
Although, actually, no, with New 52 and beyond, he does closer to what Superman looks in New 52 and stuff. But
his work is best, though, when he's got time.
Yeah, he's not...
I don't think he should be a monthly guy. I think he's good for miniseries and stuff.
Unless they give him a head start, though.
He's got to have a head start. Because him, like... I've noticed his art not being as tight these days in a lot of the more recent books.
What else is he... What's he doing right now?
Frick, what did I just saw him on something. It's DC. I forget.
Anyways,
but it's kind of like Brian Hitch. Brian Hitch, if he's got time, beautiful.
Yeah.
If he's rushed, it's
his Brian Hitch's run on Justice League actually was really good when he wrote it and drew it.
Yeah.
Really good. It was. It reminded me a lot of Ultimates.
Okay.
Because it was this big, huge, bombastic movie style thing, but it also kind of reminded me of Grant Morrison's run on Justice League, where it was this big, huge event. It wasn't like the Justice League were, helping stop fires in the city. It was like a big, huge, galactic, global event. Justice League was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, exactly. Brian Hitch is another prime example. Yeah. And you're right, like, especially towards the end of the first 6 issues, you could tell he was getting rushed, so it wasn't as good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gary Frank. Jim Lee. Jim Lee is hands down.
I almost put Lee on my list. Jim Lee.
Even at his sloppiest, is still really, really good.
His X-Men is the X-Men I grew up with. When I think X-Men, I think Jim Lee's
Exactly,
X-Men.
exactly.
It doesn't matter. We've had new X-Men, Astonishing X-Men, every friggin' X-Men since, and I will automatically think animated series and Jim Lee's designs.
Yeah, I also actually, with Batman too, I picture
Same with Batman.
I picture his Batman, and I picture animated Batman as well. Those are the two. But even just his Wildcat stuff.
Yep.
You know, his Superman, even though I hated the run, his Superman, the book was great. Like, beautiful. Like, he's just a consistently amazing artist. And I feel like he gets better as he gets older.
He really does.
You know?
Like, there's guys that get worse, sadly.
Yeah.
But no, he seriously just gets better and better and better, which is insane because, what is he, like, vice president or some shit now? Like,
he's up there.
He's a big dude. Like, he's
a big deal.
Quesada over at Marvel. Like,
I would say he's bigger.
Jim Lee's bigger.
Yeah.
And Jim Lee's a freaking superstar.
Yeah. So, I mean, oh, man, just so good. And then finally, John Cassidy. Cassidy? But Cassidy.
John Cassidy is
an
incredible artist.
The first time I saw his art was at Captain America 1.
Yep.
Incredible. Like, he
Just
took the time to do all the chainmail. Like, actually said this is chainmail, because they always say it in the books, and some people do the crosshatch. He made it look like chainmail. His arts, or his fight sequences were incredible. Ultra realistic for a superhero book, but still absolutely amazing. His Astonishing X-Men run.
Yep.
Still one of my all-time favorite runs. I've wanted to check out Planetary.
I've read about half of it.
My only concern, though, is the same thing I have with the Authority, is that you get a great art team or writing art team for one run, and then the next run it's someone else, and then the next run it's back to whoever.
Yeah.
Because
Planetary is Warren Ellis and John Cassidy
all the way through. Okay.
The whole run.
Okay. So I'm definitely going to check that out.
So, I mean, it's Warren Ellis wacky.
That was the other thing.
It's weird at times.
But then again, Mark Millar on The Authority was just fucking balls out there.
Yeah.
Balls out there. And it was Cassidy on that run too, wasn't it? Or who else?
Or was it Hitch? Hitch did Authority too, didn't he?
Hitch did. He did a run. I want to say Cassidy did a run too for some reason. Or no, might have been Quietly, actually.
Yeah.
I'll have to double check. It's been so long since I've checked out Authority, because even though I really liked Authority, the concept was amazing. It's just Millar.
Well, Millar is.
Hey, do you want your superheroes to be raped and rape? Read a Millar book.
Read a Millar book.
I'm not kidding. I think every single Millar book I've read, almost every single one, like up until recent years, but like, Authority had a rape scene, or almost rape scene. I think, if I remember correctly, it was teased that it was going to be a rape scene, and it didn't happen. But Kick-Ass,
highly disturbing.
Heavily.
Amazing run. Really just tainted by a really disturbing. Yeah. And same with Kick-Ass too. The dog.
Well, yeah. That's like hard to forget too, because that's visually like
that. It's in my head.
Like, I think of Kick-Ass 2 and I immediately go, oh yeah, that's right, that book.
Yeah, that book.
He didn't have that Hit Girl though.
No.
Which was good.
I don't think I checked out Hit Girl.
Anyway, so I digress. So Eric Larson, Frank Quitely, Gary Frank, Jim Lee, John Cassidy.
Yep.
Those are my top 5. I did originally have George Perez on here, because George Perez is fucking amazing. Like, I'm still a sucker for
You want a guy or someone to draw 500 superheroes in one picture?
And
get Perez.
Also, make sure that every single one of those 500 superheroes are actually detailed.
Yeah, and not just like a little colored blob in the background.
Yeah, not just like a Spider-Man, like the eyes, and then a red dot. It's like, you get the webbing. You've got, muscle, you've got the chainmail, you've got everything. Like, I honestly believe the pinnacle of his career was JLA versus Avengers.
That was amazing.
That was an absolutely beautiful run.
So good.
My favorite shot is like a ripped up Superman with the Thor hammer, like Mjolnir, fucking Captain America shield, and he's like, let's go. I mean, he's an old school guy. Like, he took the Kirby template and then expanded upon it. So, amazing fight scenes. Intricate, like I said, like you said too, intricate detail. The only reason why he didn't make the list was because I've read all these guys way more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a handful of books that I will, like the Titans run, New Teen Titans with Gary or Marv Wolfman.
Yep.
George Perez. That's incredible. But, like, his is a dated style. These guys are all, like, new age, old age at the same time. Because even Larson's a Kirby student. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I mean...
but, like... I think I want to say a top 6. It's a top 6.
It's a top 6?
Because George Perez, or at least George Perez and Jim Lee tied for 4th, or whatever the fuck. There's a tie there, because, yeah, now the more I think about it, I mean, like, really, it's hard to beat George Perez. Like, even Phil Jimenez is another one of my favorites.
Yeah.
He is heavily influenced by George Perez. He's got his own style, but you can see the influence by George Perez. But yeah, like, they're all just really great. All right, I'm done talking. What about you, pal?
Good. Okay, I'm gonna kick it off with Bill Sienkiewicz.
Oh, ooh, okay, all right.
He is. He's got this style that no one has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you see a Sienkiewicz picture or a piece of art, you know it's him immediately. And it was Marvel Masterpieces Series 2 that got me accustomed to it. Because I remember going up, like, Series 1 was Joe Jusko, all brilliantly painted, just gorgeous.
Jusko.
Gorgeous. And then Series 2, they got 4 artists. Julie Bell was in there.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Who else was there? There was a few. Steranko, I think, was actually one of them, too.
I was just going to say, Steranko was one of those ones. His covers were just fucking batshit.
Yeah. Yeah, Steranko. Whoa.
His Nick Fury Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. covers.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Like,
so good. The way he does blacks and whites in it.
Yeah, and then you're just in there going like, yeah, I bet you didn't do that.
Yeah. But then Sienkiewicz was the other one. And I even though he did Moon Knight and Elektra and stuff before that, I didn't really follow those.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture his art, so I'm going to go ahead and Google it.
Actually, I should have freaking worn my new Halloween shirt. I got a new Halloween shirt. It's Michael Myers drawn by Sienkiewicz.
Jesus Christ.
Beautiful. Beautiful. But yeah, so anyways, Marvel Masterpieces.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, now I remember. Okay.
This is beautiful art. But that second series of Marvel Masterpieces, number 1, the first card was a Hulk card. And it was this sketchy, just crazy painted. So coming off of Jusko and then seeing that, and I was just like...
Yeah, because Jusko was all clean lines.
Yeah, as a kid, I was kind of like, it's strange. I don't know.
Yeah, I love it. Like, Sam Keith was another one.
Yeah, see, I love Sam Keith.
As a kid, when I first saw it, I was like, this is too crazy for me.
Yeah.
And then when I got a little bit older and MTV had the Max cartoon, which was great, by the way. I loved the Max cartoon. You know? I also loved how the style of the animation was very similar to Sam Keith. But now I look at Sam Keith's art and I'm just like, yeah, it's still out there, but fuck, is it ever good?
It's so good.
It is so
I actually got
good.
the new Batman Max on my pull list.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
I almost want to go.
Yeah.
I almost want to go, especially because that Batman Ninja Turtles run looked like it was a hoot and a half.
Mm-hmm. I'm psyched.
So yeah.
So Sienkiewicz, he's got a style that no one can compare to. His New Mutants is one of the fucking nicest X-Men runs in history. Easily, so good. And of course, Elektra, Daredevil, his work on those Moon Knight. So good. Number 2, David Mack.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say David Mack.
I love David Mack. I've always been a huge David Mack fan. I had all the Kabukis.
Yeah, you're the only reason why I read Kabuki.
Yeah.
I was familiar with it because of, like, Wizard magazine and stuff like that. Well, actually, mostly just Wizard magazine, now that I think about it. But then you got into it, and then I remember I pulled Daredevil Bendis run right after Mac.
Right after Mac. And a lot of people did that. Because Mac was pretty much right before.
Well, that was the, was it the Hard Boiled one? Hard Boiled, I want to say, was right after Mac.
I think so. I mean, like...
Because that's the one where he beats the fuck out of Bullseye. And Bullseye actually does the scar, like in the movie.
Well, that was... Didn't he do that in the Target? In that Kevin Smith mini?
Yeah, but, like, he had the tattoo.
Okay.
And then, like, that's where, like, they end off, and, like, Daredevil's calling him Lester. He's like, yeah, Lester.
Yeah.
You think I don't know who you are? I know everything about you. I could have gotten you at any point in time. Like, just verbally abusing while he's beating the fuck out of him. Then he takes the rock and goes, Bullseye? Yeah, I don't think so. I was like, holy shit! And I think that's the one that ends into the Daredevil Kingpin run. Almost immediately into the Kingpin, where he beats the fuck out of Kingpin and says, "That's it, I'm the Kingpin now." And then later the Murdoch Papers. That whole run was amazing.
That whole
But anyway,
that whole
sorry.
series.
Getting back to David Mack. I don't talk too much over you.
He's a great writer too, though. He's a great writer because
I don't remember the Kabuki stuff. I don't remember if I enjoyed it immensely.
He's someone that really grew and changed with every single volume of Kabuki.
Oh yeah, that
you look at Circle Above, the first one. It's all black and white, classic comic style. A very not espionage, but like a noir type of story.
You know what the art kind of reminded me of? Kind of like Jim O'Barr from The Crow.
Yeah.
That one
very similar
style, but the same idea, black and
white.
Bendis
did the same thing when he was drawing on his independent books.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So like Jinx and Goldfish and all that, he had the same dark blacks, just same kind of style. I mean, they were all buddies, right? Yeah, but then he started to get more into painting, and then it became more abstract, and then he's doing cutouts and like again, Lake Sinkovich, an artist where like you can't compare. Like there's only one David Mack.
Exactly. It's I agree completely. Yeah. And I have to say like the original Kabuki run was like nothing standout in terms of the pictures. What?
Oh my hearing.
Oh. Somebody's trying to get a hold of me.
Oh. It's not like a song.
No,
it's not like vibrations.
Yeah. The locomotion.
Oh, locomotion. So yeah,
like I was saying, like, and then, but once you see anything after that run, you're just like, you know right away it's David Mack. That's one of the things. It's kind of like a George Perez. Like you go, David Mack.
David Mack.
100%.
That's the thing. Like the artists on my list. I mean, well, for me, next is Ryan Otley.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about how much I love Invincible. Ryan Otley drew probably 95% of that run. His art, and again, like. You look at early Invincible and then later Invincible and now Amazing Spider-Man, like he's consistently getting better and better and better and better.
Consistently getting better.
Still keeping the look that you go, that's Ryan Otley.
Yeah, exactly. He hasn't changed his style to the point where you're like, who is this?
Yeah.
Whereas, but even what I was saying, like when we talked about Invincible stuff, what I loved was that it is this cartoony anime style almost. Not, I shouldn't say anime, but it's a very animated type of a feel to it. With bright colors and everything. So then when you get to like you turn the page and there's a scene where some guy's arm is like literally through another guy's torso, and you see the ligaments and you see intestines and blood and chunks of like torso through this guy, and they don't shy away from everything. It's so jarring when you see that.
I know.
Like, whoa!
You weren't expecting that.
Fuck! And then after you see something like that, so. Like they kind of train you to expect the unexpected.
Yeah. But
it never changes when you do this. And then it's a new gory fucking scene. But his expressiveness.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember when you had Mark get raped by the woman Viltrumite.
You see just the tears and like the saliva in his mouth as he screams.
And then the aftermath.
Yeah.
When. Just little moments where, like, Eve goes to touch him and he pulls away, or she wants to have sex with him and he doesn't because he's still feeling the emotional effects of this. Yeah. And you can see it in his face. You feel it coming out of the book. Like, I mean, yeah, that's a very good pick. That's a very good pick.
Love Otley. And that's the reason why I'm buying Amazing Spider-Man again for the first time in like 12 years. Put Ryan Otley on the book. All right, I guess I'm going to read it.
Spencer's actually been doing a really good job.
Spencer is actually doing a really good job.
The follow-up with the Bacalo is also really good too.
The follow-up?
Well, yeah, because
and
Otley's taking a break.
It's Ramos.
Ramos. And Ramos is actually really good.
Humberto is another artist where you like that. Humberto Ramos.
Yeah.
Great artist.
Started off with Impulse.
Mm-hmm.
You can see a progression. His Spider-Man is looking really good right now.
Really good. Like it's a lot tighter than it was like back when he started on the Spidey books. He was doing Spectacular Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He drew an awesome Venom in that run.
Though. Oh, yeah. But, like, and it's weird because at first I thought, I don't know if Ramos is going to be a good compliment. Because I kind of like when they do, if they're going to trade off artists, if the artists have some form of similarity.
Yeah.
So it doesn't immediately just go, oh, okay, right? Like, it doesn't throw you off. But this is working out really good so far.
No, very, very much so. Next is Adam Kubert.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Adam, to me, is the definitive Wolverine artist. Yes. I started reading Wolverine when Kubert was doing Wolverine.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because that's who I pictured doing Wolverine. Yeah. You know, it's Jim Lee and Adam Kubert. Yeah.
Like, the Adam Kubert Wolverine, like, Adrian's got tattoos. She's always like, oh, you're going to get a tattoo one day? And Ryan, if I did...
Ryan got a tattoo. Board Lucy?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What do you got?
He got an owl. Yeah. With the Tool third eye. Nice. Yeah, he sent me an unfinished pic that looks pretty bitchin'. But, hey, name drop, Ryan Bortolucci.
Boom! Hello, Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. I can't wait to see it.
So, yeah, but anyway. If I got a tattoo, it'd be a Kubert Wolverine.
Oh, yeah.
Because the amount of awesome Wolverine covers that he did during his run, so good. So good. So, yeah, no, I mean, I love all the Kubert artists. Joe Kubert, amazing. Andy, awesome.
See, Joe Kubert, I wasn't a huge fan of, but, like, you can see the school.
Yeah.
Like, you can see where Andy and Adam got it from.
I love Joe's art. I just didn't really so much care for a lot of the characters he was working on. Like, Sergeant Rock didn't really do anything for me kind of thing.
Yeah, right? No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I get it. But, I don't know. I mean...
Emma Kubert, Andy's daughter, her art's looking amazing.
I didn't even realize that she drew.
Yeah, she's doing a brand new book. She just completed the Kubert School for like 3 years or whatever, and she's doing a book with Billy Tucci right now. With Dynamite called Miss Fury.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to check that out.
Looks really good. Looks a lot like her dad's art.
Nice.
Yeah, really good. So yeah, Adam Kubert. And then lastly, this is going to probably like be strange to a lot of people off, Clayman.
Interesting.
I love Clayman's art. I love Clayman's art to the point where when I first saw him doing X-Men, because he was doing a lot of X-Men back in like the early 2000s.
Okay.
I went, this is a guy that if I ever did a Tridon comic, I would throw all my money at this guy to get him to do it.
Clayman.
Why can't I picture his art is incredible. He's bouncing back and forth on issues with Tom King right now with Batman. He's actually doing the Heroes in Crisis miniseries.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Actually, yeah. Clayman's a really good artist.
Amazing artist. Amazing artist.
I'm going to say really good. I'm not going to say amazing.
To me, amazing artist. So that's my top 5. I almost threw in Sam Keith. Jim Lee I was thinking of. J. Scott Campbell.
See, it's tough because there's so many.
There's so many good ones, and I always like those ones that have their own unique style to them. Dave Johnson, another great artist.
Yeah, Dave Johnson. Yeah. Cameron Stewart.
Yep.
A lot of the guys that work with, I find a lot of the guys that work with Grant Morrison, I really like. Even Yannick Paquette, I'm not a huge fan of, but it depends on the book. Like, the Wonder Woman stuff they did was really good. Yep. I really liked that.
I haven't really seen his art since he did Marvel. He did a lot of Ultimate X-Men at Marvel. Dave Gibbons, yeah. Absolutely.
Really, really good. Like, that Watchmen stuff wouldn't have been nearly as good without Dave Gibbons.
Yeah, no, his art was incredible. I think Watchmen's overrated, but the art, top notch.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But, like, and that's the thing. So, like, my top 5 is right now. I mean, it'll change at some point, I know, but...
It's kind of hard to, like...
Well, like I said, to me, the top 4 was George Perez in there was because, you almost had to,
Alex Maleev.
Alex Maleev, yes, exactly. Like, we're talking about the Daredevil run, but
a guy where I'm like, that's Alex Maleev. See, like him and Michael Lark back and forth, the two of them.
Yeah.
Steve Epting.
Jay Lee's another one.
So many
when he first came out, he was like a Will Spartaccio sort of Mark Silvestri ripoff. Yeah. Or it's actually more of an amalgamation of the two. Because Spartaccio had that sort of sketchy style. Yeah. And then... out of nowhere, you've got Jay Lee doing this beautiful Dark Tower stuff.
His Dark Tower was incredible.
And then...
especially with the colors by Richard Eisner.
Yeah.
Hoy.
Yeah, exactly. Hoy. 80 Granoff.
Yep.
Another one where you're just like, Jesus fuck.
Again, a great cover artist and a guy that they're going to have doing interiors needs a lot of time.
But even still, though.
Because I'll never forget the delays on that. The first 6 issues of his Iron Man with Warren Ellis. 6 issues must have took like a year and a half or something.
I mentioned Chris Samney. Chris Samney is that like old school, new school kind of artist. His Daredevil run was amazing.
Great artist.
You know,
Scotty Young.
There's just Scotty Young. So many. Mike McCone.
Yep.
Did a great run on Teen Titans. One of my favorites. Oh, Ringo. To follow up Tom Grummett's run on Robin, it was a great choice to pull out Ringo.
Yeah.
So good. I think he passed away, didn't he?
He did.
Yeah, he did. So rest in peace. I was a big fan of his. His Spider-Man work was also ridiculously good. His Spider-Man run was so good that I went, yeah, why didn't you do Spider-Man forever?
Right. It was so good. What did he kick off? Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man? Is that the one he kicked off with? And it was Mark Waid writing it? Was Waid writing on that?
Or was it? I can't remember now. I'm trying to think.
I want to say it was Waid, because I think it was the Fantastic Four creative team doing
Yes,
Friendly
that's
Spider-Man.
right. And that's another one, too. His run on Fantastic Four was fucking
he drew an
incredible.
awesome Doctor Doom.
Oh, man.
So good.
That, like, insectoid Doctor Doom, where he was a mix of, like, Doctor Doom and magic, like, the sorcerer style, like, the Gypsy run.
Right, yeah.
So good. Oh, man.
So many good
That's
artists.
what I mean, like, there's so
it's really hard
great
to put, like,
artists. Yeah, like, it's just... Like, even then, I guess my top 6 is tentative anyway.
Yeah.
We're going through the list, and I'm just like, Jesus, fuck, there's so many
This
good
could go
ones.
on for an eternity.
Oh, yeah, well, once you get the ball rolling, right?
Easily.
Even Tom McFarlane.
Yeah, McFarlane. I was never a
huge Tom McFarlane fan either.
He's a great artist.
Yeah.
I liked his Amazing Spider-Man more than the Dark Spider-Man. Like, the just adjectiveless Spider-Man. His stuff on Amazing I enjoyed more. Because then he started to get darker and darker, and then that went to Spawn.
Yeah,
and
but
it's still really good.
His Lizard run was crazy awesome. Like, his depiction of Lizard and Calypso, just that was incredible.
Man, that was like a horror book.
Yeah.
It was creepy.
It was really good.
Very creepy.
Really good. Yeah, actually, we could do this all day. Really.
All day. Fuck Venom. Full episode on artists.
Yeah, that's right. Save Venom for a later date,
fuck you, Venom.
Yeah, because I even mentioned Will Spartaccio, and he was really good, too. I really liked his art.
All those Image guys.
Yeah, all the Image guys. Dale Keown, I was a big fan of Dale Keown.
Pitt was awesome.
Pitt was awesome, but even Dale Keown's run on Hulk was also just fucking incredible. Like, it just looked so cool that you had the Smart Hulk running around in that, like, brown jumpsuit, which made no sense, but still looked awesome. Even Ron Lim. Big fan of Ron Lim.
Yeah.
I was always a big fan of him. His Surfer was probably one of my favorite surfers. You know? Up until... Who's the most recent one that did Surfer? Was it Mike Allred?
Yeah, it was Mike Allred.
Yeah.
Yep.
His Surfer was really good, too.
Very Kirby-esque.
Well, yeah.
It's like, my dad, he's got all his old comics.
I know.
And his old Kirby Surfer books. Oh. So good.
I know.
So damn good.
But, yeah. Okay, alright, so
that was our Instaquestion, our top 500 comic book artists.
Yeah, and counting.
And counting.
Because, fuck, we'll get back to it.
Thanks, James, for the great question.
Any final mentions before we sign off?
Oh, man. It's just going through my head right now.
Tony Daniel.
The list just continues.
Tony Daniel is also one of the best Batman artists out there. He's also really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Great artist.
Anyway.
Fiona Staples. I love
Marcus Toe.
I love her art in this.
Yeah, Fiona Staples. Fiona Staples is so good. Marcus Toe is another great artist.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, let's fucking
we'll cut it in. Okay, so Venom.
Venom. The surprise hit of the summer.
Isn't that a shock?
You know what?
Because I was like, it looks fun, but it's gonna bomb.
We predicted it was gonna bomb.
Yeah.
I said it would be lucky if it made money. I think is what we said when we did our upcoming movies run. But
But as of right now, it's nearly 550 million worldwide.
Yeah. So
what the fuck?
Quintupled its budget because it was just a smidge over 100 million.
Yeah. Oh, you can't make a Venom movie without Spider-Man. They'll never work.
It did.
Well, Sony proved you wrong.
Yeah.
Sony proved you wrong.
Yeah. First and foremost, I gotta say the couple of things that really stuck out, and I remember saying this right away when we talked about it, was because the reviews savage this movie.
Oh, they
like
were
the critics,
awful.
They make it. They say it's a waste of Tom Hardy's talents. It's a jumbled mess.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really know what it wants to be. It almost feels like two different movies slapped together. Michelle Williams didn't even really have to be there. Mm-hmm. They could have cast anyone in that role.
Well, yeah, I mean...
But yeah, you could have.
You could have.
You could have cast anyone as Eddie Brock. Like,
yeah, I mean, you can say that about anything, any movie.
Right. I always hate it when they say that, because you're right. Like, every time they say that...
She doesn't need to be there. It could be any female player. What?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Okay.
She needs a job, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand that at all.
But, like, and I will agree that there is a tone shift that is jarring.
Yep.
Like, I feel like if there is a director's cut, I feel like then we'll get more of a cohesive movie put together, because, like, the first 20 minutes feels like a body horror type of thing.
Right.
You know, like...
The comedy is pretty
it's
slim.
It's only really, like, that cutesy boyfriend-girlfriend stuff at the beginning that is kind of lighthearted. And even just the way Eddie is as a character is kind of funny, but it's not like you're laughing, and there's none of this black humor with it. It's just it almost feels like the setup for a horror flick where, you know, the guy's got everything going for him, life is going really, really good, right? And then he makes that one fatal mistake, fucks his whole life up, and now he's starting to do the change into something worse than he ever thought possible, and it does feel very much like that. Like, not that it's scary or suspenseful, but it has the beats, the same similar beats, like even with The Fly, like, it has similar beats to that.
That whole opening sequence of Venom was awesome.
I enjoyed it immensely.
Like, it was like, I was like, oh man.
I was really surprised.
I was hoping it was going to hold that throughout the movie.
So was I. I was
that
really
was
hoping.
Like, if you did Venom with that tone throughout the whole movie, oof,
yeah, I was really hoping.
That would have been
However,
really good.
When they do the switch, and Venom is actually speaking to Eddie.
I love that.
First of all, I love that too. I love the voice.
The voice was so good. He said "we," not like Spider-Man 3 and Mr. Topher Grace over there.
That's right. But okay, no offense to Topher Grace. He's just doing what he's told.
Yeah.
But I agree. Like, when you pointed that out, we watched Venom, and then we did the Spider-Man trilogy, and it was like, yeah, that's right. You never once said "we."
Yeah.
It was I.
And he always says "we." That is the thing.
Exactly.
You read any Venom comic, he's saying "we."
Exactly. So, for first of all, to have him talk to Eddie, and then it starts to get into that black comedy, campy sort of Deadpool type of a movie.
Right. Now we're getting some, like, it's getting a little too humorous, and I'm not really surprised. Ruben Fleischer directed this. He's the guy who did Zombieland. So
yeah,
okay, I mean, it's got to be comedy.
A little bit. I was more surprised at the level that they took it to.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it, but like I said, like, it was almost like they were going this way, and then they turned, and like, okay, this is the rest of the movie, you know. So, like I was saying with the cutscenes, I feel like if those cutscenes were added in, then we might actually see a better twist where it's even in the beginning, even though it's kind of like a body horror. Yeah. It's a little bit more funnier, a little bit more black humor. You know, some of it was a little bit over the top. Like, I remember when, when he's, like, overheating and he's eating everything, and he goes to the restaurant, and she's on the date with the doctor, and then Brock literally gets in the lobster tank. I remember just being like, okay.
I mean, I laughed. It was funny. But at the same time, it was kind of, like, stupid as well.
Yeah, like that's what got me with some of the stuff when it was
Dumb and Dumber territory here now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact, like, Tom Hardy's Eddie Brock is weird.
Weird, but you know what? I really liked it. I really liked it.
I could not keep my eyes on
it. I couldn't, like, everyone said, you know, wasted Tom Hardy's talent to do this movie. You know what? It's Tom Hardy that made this movie.
I was just going to say that.
He was so good. This might be one of my favorite Tom Hardy roles. I don't know what it is. Maybe because he's finally playing a weak character. Tom Hardy always plays the tough guy. And in this,
which is funny because he's
getting his ass whooped.
He still looks like
he's still ripped and stuff. Yeah. But I mean, like...
Yeah. But, like, he does a great job, like, when, so, basically, he outs a story based on, Michelle's, Annie? Annie, are you okay? Anne. It is Anne, yeah. It is Anne, because I was singing that. Yeah. Venom, are you okay? Are you okay, Venom? Anyway, what the fuck was I going to say? Oh, yeah, because so she's working for the big bad company. Right. And he uses her info to out stuff, the shady shit that they're doing. Yeah. He gets fired. He gets her fired. She breaks up with him. And gives him back the ring because he asked her to marry him. Everything. So his whole life is fucked, and nobody's going to work with him because, he fucked everything up, right? And but he does a good job of making you feel like he's down on his luck. He's probably gonna kill himself, like, you know. And then gets that last little thing from what's her face? Jenny Slate. Jenny Slate, yeah.
Symbiote.
Symbiote, yes.
The symbiote. I'm so happy they fixed that in the final movie.
I agree, because when they did that, the symbiote,
she says symbiote in the movie.
I remember looking at the screen going, why would they say that? And we talked about that on the Camcast, and we were like, symbiote?
Symbiote.
You know, like, it'd be okay if she was the only one that said it that way, because then it would just be one of those things where she's saying it wrong, but no one wants to correct her because they don't want to be rude, right? Everyone that's in the movie, though, I thought did a really good job. Yeah, like, there was no real part or a character in the movie that I thought was extraneous. No actor that was, like, kind of phoning it in or anything like that. Story-wise, like I said, like, aside from the odd tonal shift, still a lot of fun. Like, I remember, like, I was smiling, I was laughing.
Yeah, I thought it was
enjoying everything.
A very fun movie.
For $100 million budget, Venom looked fantastic.
Venom looked awesome.
I don't think there was any real scene where I was kind of like, this is actually really shitty looking. You know, like, Venom looked great. She-Venom looked great.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun, too.
I was like, Williams, are you serious? They're going to do that so quickly?
I love Michelle Williams, but, like, in this, I feel like she kind of, like, phoned it in at times. I didn't really feel like her chemistry was all there with Tom Hardy.
I agree with the chemistry. I didn't think it was there. Like, even at the beginning when they were supposed to be, like, serious, I didn't buy it. I bought it more when she was kind of like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and then she wasn't really with him per se, but she was helping him because she realized that he wasn't making this stuff up and it was actually some crazy shit going on. Then I started to see the chemistry, which is weird because I find most people generally have good chemistry with Tom Hardy. You know, like even in that, what is it, We're at War, that bullshit rom-com with Tom Hardy, Christopher
that movie
Pine,
was funny.
And was it Reese Witherspoon?
Reese Witherspoon. Yeah. They're fighting over Reese Witherspoon, yeah.
Decent enough, but I actually thought the chemistry between Pine and Hardy was better than either of them had with Reese Witherspoon.
That was a beautiful bromance.
It's almost like if they made that movie now, it would end with the two of them going like, wait a minute.
I didn't understand, why didn't they just call the movie Spy vs. Spy? That's what I would have called it.
Because there's Spy versus Spy, right?
Yeah, but there's no movie for Spy. I would have got the rights for that.
Copyright. Mad TV? There's no way.
Come on. There's a way.
What was I going to say? Oh, yeah, so I feel like it would have been funny if the movie ended with the two of them going, you know what do we need her for when I love you? You look a lot like Chris Pine. You don't say. You look a lot like a Thomas Hardy.
That would actually be funny.
It would be
that would be really funny.
I guarantee that like 90% of the guys that went there with their wives would be like, well, this movie's gay. Literally. Was it your dad said? Dicks and bums?
Dicks and bums.
What's with all these movies about guys with dicks in their bums? Well, they don't have them in their bums all the time.
Yeah, it's not showing it either. I mean,
every once in a while they decide that
would be porn.
They want a dick in their bum. That's whatever.
Hey, whatever floats the boat.
Anyway, so, one of the things I really liked was that they established right away that they're aliens from another planet.
Yes.
That I really liked. I liked how...
They all had their own personalities.
Yeah.
Which Venom's like, you're the loser on Earth, and I'm the loser on my planet.
The reason why I picked you, Eddie, was because on my planet I'm a loser, too. I was like, that's the funniest fucking thing I've ever heard in my entire life, that it was like, out of all the people...
Yeah.
And then they followed up by going like... Riot over there can, like, make blades and stuff like that. So, like, what are the chances of us winning? Oh, we're probably gonna get killed.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, let's go. It's like, the one punch, I was like, holy shit, this is actually legit funny. Like, I laughed out loud there. And even just some of the reactions where, like, Venom's doing these things and Hardy's just along for the ride. He's just like, what the fuck is going on here? Mm-hmm. Like, he broke his leg. His leg was all mangled.
That was great acting. Like, when he's just like, what's going on with my...
Yeah, and I mean, like, I loved it because they didn't play that part for laughs.
Yeah.
They was, like, straight up, like, I don't even know what the hell's going on and stuff like that.
I'd be kind of horrified if my body was doing that.
Oh yeah, like shooting weird black shit out of it and stuff like that. I do feel like, even though they kind of sort of hinted at the white spider, it could have been a little bit more pronounced. Mm-hmm. But I get why, because it's a direct tie to Spider-Man, and they haven't done the link yet, if they do the link. But, I mean, part of it was, I think, going into it, I wasn't expecting anything other than what I saw in the trailers. Yeah. So, I didn't think it was going to be this, subversive take on superheroes or whatever. I was just kind of like, okay, all right. Mm-hmm. I do kind of wish, like in the sequel, and I know that they'll do the opposite, but I kind of wish for the sequel that they dialed back some of the more Deadpool-like elements, make it a little bit more of a straight black comedy without the obvious Daredevil or Deadpool ripoffs. Yeah. But they're gonna go more the Deadpool route because
that's what's hot right now.
It made them 5 times their budget. Yep. So I mean, after $2 million, they were even. Everything else was profit. So So of course they can go that route. But I'm actually really anxious to see what happened. But I also like the riot from the beginning, taking over different bodies until it got to what's the bad guy's
name? Carlton Drake.
Yes, Carlton Drake.
Riz Ahmed.
Yes, Riz Ahmed. That's what I wanted to hear. Riz Ahmed.
He was awesome.
He was so good.
He was so good.
I liked how, even though he was trying to play this like self-righteous philanthropist, there was at no point in time where you felt he was true. You knew that there was something
dirty scumbag
shady about him. And then, like, for him to immediately, without missing a beat, go from like, no, we're here to save the world, and they're like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do human testing. No, we're going to do human testing. But, I don't care. Let's get bumps.
Yeah, let's get bumps.
But he was great. Even the stuff with Jenny Slate, and she was a throwaway character. Yeah. But like they like I said, they all did a really good job. The special effects were really good. I loved the fight scene where he's taking on all the armed guards.
That was a good fight scene.
In the office building. Yep. Like some of the stuff they had Venom doing, some of the ways they tried to fuck Venom up.
It felt a little Spawn to me.
It did feel a little Spawn to me.
Just way better looking.
Yeah.
You know that scene in Spawn where he's flipping around in that ballroom or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But then again, the special effects are infinitely better than Spawn.
Oh, that was 20 years ago already.
Yeah. Yeah. But then again, I mean, out of all the movies to come out, Spawn? Watch it now and it's a hunk of garbage.
Oh, it's so bad. Though, John Leguizamo as a clown is still awesome.
Oh, still absolutely awesome.
Still awesome.
And, I mean, yeah, you can tell most of the budget went into the clown costume. Yeah. Which is insane.
Sure didn't go into Malbogia or Violator.
Yeah.
Oh, they looked awful.
Yeah. And, I mean, like, we've talked before where we're big suckers for, like, stop motion and live action with CGI and stuff like that, but... Yeah. This was just fucking terrible.
You guys weren't ready for that kind of CGI yet.
No.
No.
And also to come out with like that style of a superhero movie, because it's not really a superhero movie. No. You know, it looks like it's a superhero movie. It's not. No. It deals with heaven and hell. This is some dark, mature themes. They pulled it out too soon. The cartoon was a better...
The cartoon was great, but that came around the same time. Like, Spawn was so hot in the 90s. I never understood why, but like, his comic was selling like crazy. Oh yeah, gets a movie right away. Gets an HBO TV series.
But the HBO TV series was a smarter move and a better representation because they were able to flesh things out. And they were also able to just kind of justify the adult overtones, and also, especially because like 20 years ago, a rated R movie wasn't making money. No, you know what I mean? No. Like I think Blade got lucky.
Blade got lucky, and it didn't really hit it big till The Matrix, right?
Right. But like I said, like Blade was one of those ones where it was rated R, and they just released it. It wasn't like there was this huge like ticker tape parade. It was just kind of like, yeah, we came out with a movie about Blade, and it's rated R. See what happened, and then it made money.
Wesley Snipes movies were not making money before Blade.
No, he had a good run right at the beginning.
He had a good run at the beginning in the early '90s, and then just
was it Passenger 57? After that, it was just like all downhill.
Yeah. But he did Demolition Man after that. That was awesome.
But that's a double bill, though.
That's a double bill.
Art of War bombed.
Or Where It Bombed. That was one of his last like theatrical movies.
That was good though.
It was a very good movie.
Liked that
very good movie.
Really liked it. But anyway, so I mean, I actually look forward to owning Venom.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they do a director's cut because even Hardy was saying like the cut scenes were some of his favorites, and I would have loved to see that. Yeah. And if it gives more of a meld between the beginning and less of a jarring tonal shift, it's kind of like Batman v Superman. Yeah, the director's cut was amazing.
Oh,
in comparison, like it's
so
a night and day comparison.
So much better.
You know, and normally when I'm like, wait, you cut out an entire half hour? Do you really need that extra half hour? Because it's usually like an extra minute here, an extra minute there, but they really fleshed out a story there where I'm like, if you would have released that in the theaters, that movie would have done way better.
Oh, easily.
But anyway, so, I mean, I don't really have much else to say except I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Special effects were great.
Mm-hmm.
The tone shift was the only thing that really kind of threw me for a loop. Oh, and all the talk about Woody Harrelson being Cletus Cassidy.
I was excited to see him as Cletus Cassidy, and then we got Carrot Top with some awful dialogue. When I get out, it's gonna be carnage.
I know, and I cringed at that one. I cringed at that one, especially because we've established that the symbiotes pick their own name, or however they get their names. But like Eddie didn't go. I guess we're Venom now. It was like I'm Venom. We're Venom. You know, so it was really like fuck off that you actually had to say carnage. You know, and his dialogue was pretty rough. His appearance, I didn't think was too bad. Like, I didn't mind it because, I mean, he's a redhead in the book.
But it was clearly fake hair. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I realize now, though,
would it look better if it was just like an orange brush cut or something?
I realize now, though, that I don't think they should have cast Woody Harrelson.
No.
I mean, part of the things that I feel like made Carnage work as a character was that Cassidy's younger than Eddie Brock, for one, which works because...
He's clearly way older now.
The Carnage is the offspring of Venom. I'm not sure how they're going to do that. I'm hoping they do another offspring thing, but I'm not sure how they're going to do it.
I don't know how they're going to do it.
You know?
There's no Carnage symbiote. we would have saw it.
No, but in the comic books, Venom gives birth to Carnage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the only way that makes sense that they can do it in this movie. Unless...
Why would Venom do that?
I can't remember why he did it in the comic books. Just something that they do, I guess.
Did he give birth in the comic, or was it like a sound thing? His costume was dripping? Because I remember like Cletus like holding the outside bars and then it dripping onto his hand or something.
Yeah, but I mean,
I don't know if it was a choice that
it has to be a birth thing, because if it's just a piece of Venom, then he would be like Venom 2.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And also Venom would have just reclaimed that piece. I'm pretty like I Wikipedia'd it immediately. And he is Venom's son.
Well, they do consider him the son.
And he gave birth to him. And I remember the scene where it happened because that was Mark Bagley, another one of my favorite artists.
Right? How did we not mention?
How did he not make the list?
Oh my gosh!
Because Bagley's one of my all-time favorites too.
Bagley is amazing.
Between his Amazing Spider-Man run, between his Ultimate Spider-Man run, between his Thunderbolts run, which I only looked at because he was drawing it.
Yep. His
Batman run. Bagley, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Bagley.
You're one of my favorites. Anyway, because he's going to watch this.
Oh, yeah.
He's at home.
He's sitting at home right now.
He's literally going like, I hope somebody mentions me in a camcast in the middle of What Fuck Thunder Bay.
Oh, who are these two losers with 2 views? I shall watch this video.
He sounds like an aristocrat, eh?
Yes, Mark Bagley.
All I've ever done was just do my drawings.
My drugs.
But yeah, so I don't know how they're going to do it, especially because as of right now, there's no way for the other symbiotes to come to Earth because the ship has been destroyed.
Can we talk about like how slow Riot moves? Because he was hopping between people on the other side of the planet, and then Tom Hardy loses his job, his girlfriend, all that, and it jumps 6 months in the movie, and Riot still wasn't over to.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
He arrives after that on the same person.
Right. No.
It was the same. It was a little
Oh, yeah.
It was a woman, an old woman, and then a little girl.
That's right.
Came over on a little girl.
That's right. There was a 6-month flight.
So Ride's just hanging out with this little girl. Parents don't notice that the little girl's fucking messed up for 6 months.
That's right. That's right. I knew there was something about that. And the other thing, too, was that, like, they quickly established that the Venom symbiote can control Eddie in the beginning before they have an agreement, but also, like, do things that normal humans wouldn't be able to do.
Yeah.
This one, Riot strolls. You know? Like, there's no, oh yeah, good symbiote powers, or anything like that. So yeah, you're right. I remember that.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So that was funny.
A little that was actually kind of funny.
That was funny.
Right.
Here, I'll just go over my notes quickly.
Yeah,
see what we missed.
Exactly.
See what we missed. Yeah, Venom, there was the whole supporting cast was great. Okay, the final battle between Venom and Riot was not fun to watch. Not fun to watch because to me it was just shades of Ang Lee's Hulk all over again, where I didn't know what the fuck was going on half that time.
Yeah, and there was a couple parts where
it's because Venom's black with white tints, and then you got this dark gray on Riot, and they're sticking together and they're pulling.
That part I
don't know what the hell was going on
in the trailer, and they had that one scene where they're both kind of popping out of the symbiote.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, "Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that one big thing
that
where
was
it was
not,
a collage
that was
of
not
symbiotes.
Fun. It was too much blended CGI. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, and they did drag it out where, like, what was it? Venom was disabled or knocked out or whatever, so he wasn't on Brock. And then at the last second, they did that whole, like, Brock gets him back type of thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a couple parts I remember just being like, oh. It was a long fight scene too.
It was very long. It had a lot of cool spots.
There was a lot of cool spots.
The finale to that fight, no.
Yeah.
No, did not like that at all. It really just had me like, didn't enjoy it.
No, that's right. That's right.
Didn't enjoy it.
I forgot about that part. The eating of people's heads, I thought, was hilarious.
That was hilarious.
That was
just
so
wanting
funny.
to eat brains.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That part was actually really funny because, I mean, that's one of the things they up and down with in the comic books. There's like when he came out, he was eating brains.
Yeah.
They even like said that it was because of the certain secretion that the brains did, and then like as Venom became more of a lethal protector, they switched it so that it was chocolate. Like he would eat chocolate, copious amounts of chocolate, because it was a similar enzyme or whatever. I can't remember exactly what it was. He would get more. So it was obviously he wasn't eating bad guys, but I mean, like, there was a couple of times you're just like, oh, I can't believe he just fucking did that. He just fucking ate his brains. Like, he totally ate his head off. But the turn in the wind. The critics shat all over that, but I actually thought, like, because of the way the movie is by that point, when he goes, you're nothing but a turn rolling
like
in the wind.
In the wind.
I was like,
with the voice, it was like, and he almost looked like he had this like big grin on his face.
If they did,
wind.
If this was this whole like serious movie, and then they did that line, I'd have been like, "Fuck off!
What is that?
Are you fucking kidding me?" Yeah. But because the rest of the movie is a Deadpool Venom movie, I was like, okay, it's actually it's fine, it's okay,
it's fine.
But it is hilarious though that the owner of that restaurant or the corner store is like, okay, so Eddie Brock is a weird fucking alien dude.
Yeah.
I guess it's cool that you continue to shop here.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Come by whenever.
Turned rolling in the wind or whatever.
That was funny.
It was really funny.
I like how they came down on spaceships that was piloted by John Jameson.
I know. I thought that was. I wish they would have done more with it instead of killing him off immediately.
They had to kill him off real quick.
Like immediately.
Real quick.
But what else are they going to do?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I still think Sony really missed the boat by not saying this was an origin film. I agree too. I 100% agree. They made this movie last year. This could have easily been how the symbiotes came to Earth.
Oh man, and especially because that was a really good
movie. This is a damn good movie.
Real good movie.
Really good movie. But I mean, like Rebecca Ferguson again.
I know. I was like, I forgot she was in
God,
there.
she's an amazing actress.
So great. But yeah, like I feel like they missed a missed a huge step there, but whatever. The only major gripe I have is that they killed off all the symbiotes.
They did, didn't they? The other two died during trial.
That's right. They died during trial, and then Riot was the only one that stuck around.
So he's got to give birth to make Carnage.
Has to.
It's the only way to have another symbiote.
Unless...
there was another one that no one saw.
Well, hold on. The rocket launch, that explodes, though, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, it did, because Venom was up there, and it explodes.
Yes.
That's right, and then they do that tease that Venom's dead. And that was another one where I kind of eye-rolled, because you're just like, obviously.
Oh, so maybe it's just splashes of Riot that kind of like... Maybe Carnage will be a kid of Riot.
Okay. That actually could work, too, because we don't actually see the body.
Yeah.
We didn't see the burn-up.
And Carnage does the big blades with his hands and stuff.
That's right,
just
okay.
like Riot
That kind of
in this
works.
film.
That would work. Mm-hmm. You know, as long as they make him red, though.
Yeah.
As long as he's predominantly red with black undertones, because then that fight scene will be pop.
Exactly.
Pop.
It's got to be a bright red though.
Yeah.
If it's like a dark red, it'll just blend.
Gotta look like
it'll blend
like
right in
a
again.
Bright blood red, and that'll look great.
That's all I got, man. That's Venom.
That is it. That is all.
Venom. I thought it was a fun flick.
Yep.
I thought in some cases it was forgettable.
I would say it's a good. I would say 3.5, 3 Chris heads out of 5.
It does. I read some reviews where people were saying this feels very much like a pre-MCU Marvel film. It does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It feels like it came out around the time of Fantastic Four and Daredevil and all those.
But in Sony's defense, because they've had a number of missteps with their superhero movies in the past, like it seems like right after Sam Raimi's third Spider-Man, it's been one misstep after another. You know. So then for them to maybe follow like a pre-MCU template, which is not bad by any means. Sure, it's a dated template. It puts them in a prime position to go bonkers in the next movie. Yeah. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
I mean, well, we're definitely going to see Venom 2 now. We're definitely going to see Venom 3, which makes me happy. So we're going to hopefully get a complete trilogy unless Marvel's like, hey, we want to use Venom. Here's some money.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Who knows?
But still.
But, We're gonna see friggin' Morbius now. It's gonna happen. Black Cat's gonna happen. Silk is gonna happen. All those ones they talked about are gonna happen.
Well, the Black Cat for sure happening. Which I heard the green lit, but even still, Morbius, I'm like, no.
Morbius.
Don't do it.
Jared Leto.
Don't do it. And I like Jared Leto. He is a ridiculously good actor.
Yeah. I
do wish we would have saw more of his Joker, hands down. But Morbius.
You know what? Morbius is a vampire. At the end of the day, it'll be nothing more than a vampire movie. And how many vampire movies are really crazy successful? You're not going to be bringing in Venom money with Morbius. Yeah. Not even close.
Nope. Because even like I said before, like mentioning Morbius to my wife was like, okay, who the fuck's he?
Yeah, who's Morbius?
And then I go, oh, he's the living vampire. Mm-hmm. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, well, here's the story, and she's just like, okay, so like, are they just doing a superhero movie with anybody?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's basically what's coming down to. That's
pretty much the attempt that they're going to do now.
Pretty much.
You know, I still say don't do Morbius. Black Cat depends.
Can they do any character with the word spider in the title?
I don't think so.
Marvel took that, right? So they can't do a live action Marvels.
I don't even think they could do. Well, because like in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, they don't call Spider-Woman anything other than Gwen. Right. Although I don't think she's actually officially called Spider-Woman now. She's got a different name.
Ghost Spider.
Ghost Spider, right? Yeah. But even then, they don't even call her Ghost Spider in the trailer.
No.
It's just Gwen.
Because the Jessica Drew Spider-Woman movie would be good.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm done with Venom. That is Venom.
That is Venom.
Yeah. Did you watch Venom? Did you like Venom? Let us know down below. You can talk to us on what, Chris?
SoundCloud. iTunes.
You can listen to us on there. We can't talk to us.
Hold on. Okay. Facebook.
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
YouTube.
Yes.
You can do comments on YouTube.
You can do that.
That's right.
You know that well.
I do.
You comment.
I did. I did comment. Had no choice.
Yes.
Because I thought it was hysterical.
Yeah. Oh, they're eating donuts now.
Well, I didn't notice the donuts actually, but I saw him slurp away the Tim Hortons cup. I was like, that's fucking priceless.
Yeah.
Fucking priceless. Okay, so, sorry. So, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
Yep.
Those are the ones we can comment on.
Right.
Okay, and then there's iTunes and SoundCloud.
Bam.
After over a year.
At Geek Pants Media.
At Geek Pants Media. They already know that shit.
They better now.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Hey, thanks for stopping by.
Yes.
And you stay classy.
If you're not wearing your symbiotes, you're naked.
You got geek pants.
These pancakes are delicious.